Greetings, everyone. This is the Hipster Snek, joined today by my good friend Itaku.
Today I am Shakuplar. I am now here, and I am going to use the powers that I gained from a ancient witch at a strange trailer park in order to say you now will consider that there's a subliminal message now implanted in your brain. You should watch the Hipster Snek now, but you'll always be wondering whether or not it's because of my subliminal command or whether or not it's your own free will, and you will just stay up haunting by this idea. Does free will even exist?
The world may never know again, actually. And today, I can YouTubers implant subliminal thoughts into your brain? The discussion starts here.
This one can. I'm going to do battle with the Elder Queen.
Oh, the arms race continues. Today, we come to you with a Snekflix. We haven't had one of these since Minecraft, I think, was the most recent one prior to this. And next year, we're
Yes.
getting Sonic the Hedgehog 4, so we should actually look forward to a streak of actually good video game adaptations.
Oh ho, and it's going to be Sonic CD,
It's going to be Sonic
yo.
CD. And then I think the next one after that's going to be Super Mario Galaxy. So that should be interesting.
You know, I am a bad cinema snob. I watched Minecraft, and I gotta say, your assessment, I'm pretty much in agreement with. It really did not have to. It really did not have to be. And honestly, I get the sense that like those like fight the power '90s celebrities that were literally everywhere.
Yeah.
And now you look at them and they're like, oh yeah, the power. And you're like, your younger self would hate yourself now. I get that sense from Jack Black. Like, I'm like, if you went back in time to like, the OG, like Tenacious D days, and you're like, yeah, I'm like a fat, children's actor. Yeah. And he would be like, I hate you. You suck.
Sell out.
Yeah, it's like, I get the sense that he would hate himself, honestly.
Checks out,
And
actually.
yeah, it's a shame. Like, he used to be really funny, and he has moments where he is really funny, but like nothing in that movie is funny.
Yeah.
Well, there are funny moments, but it's like a lot of it is just basically Jason Momoa just like being silly.
Yeah.
None of it really is. And I'm like, this is so unfortunate.
Yeah.
And even Baby Poogum, who really loves Minecraft, basically had this look on her face when she was watching it with me, and she's like, I don't like this. I'm like, I get it.
I
Aside,
like to hear that I am validated now that I've done a rant that is about as long as the film itself.
yeah, she had comments, and it basically boiled down to, I'm like, if you think this is bad, it's actually somewhat passable of a movie. You should go back in time and watch like the really bad video game adaptations.
Oh man.
Like the 1995 Mortal Kombat film. Actually, no, I lied. That's actually perfect.
That one's very entertaining and weirdly on
And
brand.
I was gonna say it actually is pretty much on brand for the first three Mortal Kombat games.
It is,
When
though.
they were not absolutely ridiculous and like Shao Kahn went back in time in order to give himself the Dragon Balls, and then he and Lo Quan were there, and they were both like playing basketball because that's the new Mortal Kombat. It's going to be Mortal Kombat basketball.
That runs the
God,
risk of actually
this
being
series
interesting.
The series got really dumb around the PS2 era,
I would say,
I'd
like,
say.
right after the PS2, it really went, like, meteorically over a cliff, and, whether actually,
Yeah.
that movie's coming out. The sequel to the rebooted Mortal Kombat film that you and I saw a few years ago is coming out in 2026 as well. So I am pleased that today I come to you all with a Snekflix of a movie that does not suck. In fact, I dare say it was downright quite good indeed.
Are you saying that Matt Pat was actually in something good? Because wasn't he
Yes.
was in the Wizards?
Yes, he voiced one of the withered animatronics, and you know, let me crack open the IMDb page. That always helps me. I really should be better prepared for these things. The first film, for those who have forgotten, was a basically an adaptation of the first game with some story beats taken from 3 and Security Breach, and its own
I just
continuity.
I distinctly recall it being William Afton being played by Shaggy and
Yes.
almost getting away with it if it weren't for those Dagburn kids.
You are not wrong, actually. Matthew Lillard plays William Afton in both films, and he it looks to me like he's having a lot of fun with it.
He does
So
seem to. He's mentioned on his Twitter that he really enjoys being able to do this. So
yeah, and we have Josh Hutcherson as Mike Schmidt, and his little sister Abby, played by Piper Rubio, and the whole thing in the first film is Mike just desperately needs a job because his aunt is trying to get custody over Abby, and there's a lot of family drama. And they're kind of like inadvertently drawn into this little pocket world of the Freddy Fazbear's franchises. And Mike, ironically, does indeed spend 5 nights working this job, and you know, ends up learning about some of the mysteries and who's responsible and how everything ties back to his family drama, where his brother Garrett is kidnapped under mysterious circumstances, and he's trying to get to the bottom of it. And he is aided by Vanessa, played by Elizabeth Lale, I think is how you say that. And they kind of form a friendship and start working through all these mysteries. So the second movie picks up a short time after the first. The events of the
so
first,
question,
yes.
just out of curiosity, do they address the fact that the first game actually takes place in the early 90s? Is this a period piece, I guess is what I'm saying.
Yes and no. So here's the breakdown. Uh, at the start of the film, we get a flashback to 1982, and we see the first Freddy Fazbear's Pizza. And their way of explaining the marionette and the toy animatronics is they came first. They were indeed the older models from this 1982 restaurant, and they had a whole bunch of really ahead of their time technology installed into them that would not have existed in 1982. This world is just very strange in that respect. Uh, but then it jumps to the modern day, which this movie actually confirms is 20 years later in 2003. So it is a period piece, but not exactly where you would like expect it to be necessarily, because by now the restaurants aren't open and actively hosting people. They are derelicts, abandoned buildings with remnants of their former glory contained within. So that's
Ah,
kind of
yes,
how they
the
address that.
far off year,
2003.
2003.
Yes.
No one, no one was alive then.
No one was even around. Nope. Uh, so,
Actually, it's funny, isn't it? That's really, really funny looking back on that.
yep. So, in the far off year of 2003, where landline telephones still exist, because you actually see those in this movie, and it made me chuckle pretty mightily. I was like, ah, yes, I remember the era of the old magic. Uh,
And
at
Snek's beard grew another foot that day.
yeah, yeah, I did. So Abby is really concerned because she's like, I miss my friends. Like, are they even still at the restaurant? What's going on? And Mike is basically like, I just want a normal life. I don't want to get dragged back into this evil, possessed animatronic nonsense. I don't want to fight this battle. It's not our problem. And Vanessa is kind of like in between both of these divides. She's like, I feel bad for them. It's terrible that this even happened. But at the same time, she has all this deal with her dad. Uh, there is just a lot going on. And one, I have to say, like the movie
Right.
opens with a flashback to Vanessa's childhood, which again is why we're in 1983.
Remind me,
82, rather.
what is Vanessa's connection to this?
So in the movies, Vanessa is a biological daughter of William Afton. She would be Vanessa Afton. That's not true in the games, but I'm not getting into that here because the movies are their own thing.
I was about to say, didn't he move to Brazil?
In
That
one
character?
in one ending, that is a possible outcome of Security Breach. Now, the Ruin DLC confirmed the ending where Freddy's head gets taken off his body, Glamrock Freddy specifically, and Vanessa, Gregory, and Freddy's head basically just noped out to the blue horizon and formed a little dysfunctional family unit. So Vanessa is canonically still alive as far as the games are concerned as well. I have not played Secret of the Mimic, so I cannot tell you if she appears in it, but she is a major player here in the films as a daughter of the Afton clan. So they're trying to live a normal life. Like Mike takes Vanessa out on this dinner date, and it's very very cute. Like it is very sweet scene, and I keep jumping ahead because like in the 1982 scene, there is this flashback to Vanessa's childhood, and she is in the pizzeria with her friend Charlotte. And Charlotte's another name that a lot of people from the games are going to be like, "Oh my gosh, is that her? Is that her? Is this the one?" Yes, it's her. For those who know, I will not explain further. So the whole thing starts. Charlotte sees this boy get led into the back rooms of the Freddy Fazbear's franchise by the Yellow Rabbit Springlock suit. Vanessa is trying to coax her back. She's like, "Hey, come on, join the party. Just like have some cake with us. You don't have to like sit at the stage and wait for the show to start. That will just happen when it's ready." Well, Charlotte waves her off, and then she sees this. Charlotte books it, and she starts like yelling at every adult she can find, and they're just like, "No, kid, like go away. Like you're being dumb and annoying, and like go talk to your parents." And for some reason, Charlotte's parents aren't there, so she runs to the back to try to save the kid herself. And surprisingly, she does. She actually like deadlifts this kid who's about her size and carries him back to the stage show just in time to get knifed in the back by William Afton, and she falls through the curtain of the stage where the marionette set is, and she falls down into the arms of the marionette, which is the most terrifying thing in FNAF 2, let me tell you. And this movie takes advantage of that. If you have played FNAF 2, this movie will capitalize on your muscle memory and your fear. Let me just warn you ahead of time. So we fast forward back to the modern day of 2003. I love that. I'm sorry, I can't help it. So a lot of things
Once
are kind
again,
of
no one was alive.
no one was alive. Abby has started like a regular school program, and Mike is like, "Oh yeah, like she's a tough kid. She's smart. She's gonna figure it out." And like we see Abby, and she's like surrounded by kids in her class, and she's like, "So then I was like attacked by this killer animatronic, and I was running for my life, and I almost died." And all the kids are like, "All hail the chosen one." It's very cute, actually. I really liked how they did that. Um, so Abby is working on her science fair project, and the teacher is played by Wayne Knight. Do you guys want another movie where Wayne Knight gets really brutally murdered? Welcome to Five Nights at Freddy's 2, because it happens here too.
Hmm.
Ugh. So he's the whole thing is the school has had a winning streak 3 years in a row of winning the science fair project. So he's really selective about who he's really allowing to be like in the display for their school. And Addie is of course obsessed with the animatronics, especially Chica. Chica's her favorite. So she's basically building like a little robotic Chica statue, and the teacher is like basically trying every tactic he can come up with to like just no, please don't enter. And it's being this really passive aggressive petty jerk. Um, and meanwhile, Mike and Vanessa are like, Mike is like, we got to move past this. We got to get away from your dad, his influence, and everything he's done. And he's like, why not try the dream therapy? That worked for me. Maybe it'll work for you. And Mike kind of leaves out how that almost got everyone killed in the first film, but I mean, otherwise, basically, yeah, it worked out for them. And Vanessa tries it and has one of the most surreal and intense sequences of the film. Like, it's actually really intense with like William Afton is chasing her around this house, and there's even a scene where she ducks into his workshop to try to hide from him, and freaking Circus Baby is there. And it's a one-off cameo, but I'm like, okay, you're throwing the brick up in the air for sister location, so we have that. This has been established. So she's at least seen Circus Baby at some point, meaning that things are going to get way more complicated. Then uh, she like she has this really interesting visual metaphor at play during this dream sequence where when she's most scared, she reverts back to when she was like a little kid, and she's like just trying to hide. Then when she finds her nerve, she is suddenly an adult. And then when she's ready to fight back, she's suddenly clad in her security uniform, and she just opens fire on them and just blasts him away. Of course, mind you, this is a dream sequence, so like she didn't shoot the real thing, but in her own heart, she fought back. Uh, so
Wow. Once again, we must point out that this is, a visual metaphor that, video games have tried to do before, but apparently it is too difficult for, gamers to understand. Yes, I am in fact actually referring to other M.
yep. So
I'm just going to say it right now, as an aside. Um, guys, 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 come on. I hate to be that guy. It's not that deep.
Metroid is not that
This
deep.
is the reason why we can't have a good Metroid game. You guys, you try to do something interesting and cinematic. You guys complain. You try to do something, fast forward or fast and actiony. You guys complain.
Yep.
You are your own worst enemy.
I don't
All
know
right,
if
go
I don't
ahead.
know which
Sorry.
is worse, the Metroid fandom or the Pokemon fandom, but they're both pretty awful. Uh, Now,
I'll tell you.
okay.
It's the Undertale Deltarune fandom, but
Oof. Oof.
we're not ready for that conversation. Anyways,
So things escalate, and Abby's like, you know what? If I can build like a little robot model Chica, I can probably fix some of the superficial damage on the animatronics. So she
oh
sneaks
Lord, is
out.
this how you get the toy Chica and toy Bonnie?
No, actually, they are indeed two different models. Abby goes to the restaurant that they went to in the first game, and the animatronics are just there, but they're just standing there. They're not moving, they're not reacting, they're not doing anything. And Mike finds her there, and he's like, we did everything we could. I don't know if they're even still here. For all we know, they've literally already departed for heaven. And she's like, that's super cheesy, and you know it. And he's like, yeah, a little bit. So he's like, you know what? We're probably not supposed to, but just for fun, why don't we take something from the prize counter home, and you can have like something to remember this place by. Even if the kids aren't there, you'll at least have like some kind of souvenir of your time spent here. And Abby's like, okay, I'm fine with that. And she finds the Faz Talker, which is this little speak and spell looking thing with Freddy Fazbear on it. And Mike's like, cool, okay, that looks neat. Um, so they go home, And one night, Abby gets a message through the Faz Talker, and it starts calling out to her saying, "Hey, we need your help." And Abby's like, "But where are you? Like, you weren't there at the restaurant." They're like, "We're at a different location." So she's like, "Okay, well, tell me how to get there." So
Oh, come on. They different location. Don't you mean sister location?
no.
Ah.
That's a different game. That's a different kettle of fish. Abby heads out, and she arrives at the other location, the original Freddy Fazbear's, the older and yet paradoxically much better location.
Ah,
uh,
yes, the Site B, the Isla Nublar.
yes, she arrives, and the toy animatronics reside there. So she meets Toy Freddy, Toy Bonnie, and Toy Chica. Kellen Goff plays Toy Freddy. Matthew Patrick, or Matt Pat, indeed, plays Toy Bonnie. And Megan Fox does Toy Chica. And this is probably the most film that the one film I will say that Megan Fox actually displays the most personality in, which is ironic given that she's literally playing a soulless automaton. So
I was about to say the satanic automaton is literally played by the
by the
literal
soulless
actual
automaton.
Satanist.
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly. So they Toy Chica's like, "Okay, we're here, but we're gonna need your help." And Abby's like, "Okay, well, what can I do?" And she's like, "Well, we can't do anything just yet, but we're going to need your help soon. So just kind of keep this place in mind." So Abby departs for the night. While away, this like YouTube channel shows up, and it's like one of those paranormal ghost hunting programs. And there's like a girl and two guys who team up with a security guard. A security guard coincidentally named Michael. Though he stresses, he's like, "Call me Michael. I don't do nicknames." And they're like, "Okay, that's fine." So they go into the original Freddy Faz and start poking around, and stuff pretty much immediately starts going down because the leader, the lady, finds this great big present box underneath the main stage. And next to it is a little music box. And this adorable little music box plays a little song you might have heard called My Grandfather's Clock on infinite loop. And those who've played FNAF 2, you'll be on pins and needles to discover that this idiot breaks the music box. And the puppet wakes up.
Oh no.
And immediately starts just like tearing people apart. Let me tell you, this film is considerably more violent than the first. Like that I'm not going to say it's like on par with something especially brutal, but this movie is PG-13. I believe I don't know if the first one was PG-13 or PG, but like I think it was PG-13 probably. But it leans on the higher end of PG-13. There is a lot more gore, there's a lot more killing, and there's also some like slightly stronger language in this film. Like,
Oh man. They say damn twice.
no, not. We're not doing a Shadow of the Hedgehog here. There's some sporadic cursing. It's not like it's not extensive. Okay, your kids aren't going to be swearing like sailors. Like the first
I was about to
film.
say, I don't think Scott would have, signed off on
No,
that if that were the case.
yeah, I don't think he'd have been okay with that because Scott Cawthon wrote this one. He wrote the script himself, uh, and the 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 thing is like they start just dropping like flies. This crew does not last. And Michael basically just like nopes out this the instant he notices there's danger and is like, "Well, that's pretty good. I'm just gonna let this run its course." And
Hmm.
the puppet the the puppet is even weirder here than she is in the games. And she was already really weird in the games, to be clear.
Wasn't she the one that you had to allay with the music box? That was the
Yes.
entire thing. Is you had to
Yep.
uh, control. You had to monitor how much time you had on the music box. You had to monitor your power, and you also had to monitor where everybody is
Yep.
in relation to you.
Yes, exactly right. FNAF 2 was especially mechanically demanding because of this. So the whole thing,
I will say this: I have never actually played. and I really haven't played any of them. So, I mean, this is just stuff I've kind of osmosized from you.
right, right. Um, there's a whole episode of the Tomodachi Bros podcast where I go deep into the history of FNAF lore and the games. You guys can check that out at your leisure. Anyway,
It's called the FNAF TED Talk. Actually, it's actually the very first TED Talk that we've did.
yep. And the puppet, not only is it hyper dangerous and capable of manipulating the other animatronics in the restaurant, it also can flat out possess people. And like that's a power I didn't know she had, but lo and behold, she does. So she
Okay,
hijacks.
that's new.
Yeah, it's definitely a new ability. And Michael muses that, like, oh, well, she's looking for a way out, so of course she'd try to find a more suitable body with which to do so. And he kind of leaves it at that, and he kind of nopes out of like the middle leg of the movie. So things start going crazy, and they start going crazy really, really fast. So Toy Chica calls upon Abby, and she's like, okay, well, here's how you can help. Here's what we really need here. We need you to disable this really pesky thing called a perimeter alarm. And what happens is the animatronics have independent power supplies, so they can walk around. And it's apparently a decent like power supply. They probably only need to recharge like at night, and like during the day they can just operate for 8 to 10 hours fine. That's the rough estimate based on me guessing, but this is FNAF world. For all I know, they have unlicensed nuclear accelerators in them. So the thing is, this perimeter
I mean,
alarm,
that would explain so much about FNAF World.
it actually kind of would. So the
So,
perimeter
guys, it's time
alarm,
to go to the back rooms, and then they just walk off the map.
the perimeter alarm serves as a safety precaution. If the animatronics were ever to get lost and get somehow outside the restaurant, their batteries would basically drop to zero near instantaneously, preventing them from, not instantly, but it would drain really, really fast. It would put a great deal of stress on their battery, preventing them from getting too far, causing too much damage. And then you learn that there are no trapped children. There is only trapped child, singular. And Vanessa explains like there is only Charlotte. Charlotte is the only one there. And they're like, well, why are the others moving? She's like, she is the marionette. She is a puppet master. She literally has a wireless connection to the other animatronics in the building, and she just controls them. Like there was
Whoa,
no.
whoa, hold up. Hold up.
All right.
Professor.
Okay.
Okay. Understanding that, no one was alive in the year of our Lord, 2003, you are
Okay.
implying to me that there's a highly advanced, very dense in terms of the network bandwidth that they have over this wireless system
Yes.
in order to be able to issue commands to multiple drones
Correct.
in the year of our Lord 2003.
Oh, it gets better because she can issue commands to them several city blocks away.
Okay, that's a little. I'm calling fuck this on this one.
Yes, in this movie about, the souls of damned children trapped inside of animatronic mascot characters, the most unrealistic thing is the network bandwidth.
No, I'm just saying that that's not okay. That's not that that's a thing that's science fiction, because I mean that's a thing we can do now. But I'm just saying, when you and I were in high school, about the time that you and I met,
Right.
just to give a timeline for people who have not watched any of our oh, this is the origin of the Tomo Bros. Apparently there were people using Amazon delivery drones in order to terrorize people.
Yes, that is what is happening here. And the FNAF timeline always had technology that scaled way too fast for its time frame. So I just assume that some turn of events in history in the FNAF universe just facilitated more rapid technological growth while not really impacting its cultural perceptions, which little unrealistic, but that's probably the best estimation I have for you.
No, I have a perfect thing, and you're as soon as I say this, you are gonna go, this makes sense.
Okay,
I understand. It all clicks. All
fire away.
right. So, William Afton, the
Yes,
guy who created all the technology.
right.
What if, hypothetically, he was roommates slash in university with two other individuals,
Okay.
which is to say, Dr. Junichiro Hikari and Dr. Waiwi.
Oh, Lord.
There you
That
go.
would actually make a startling amount of sense in this context, yes.
I guess what I'm saying is this makes, this takes place in the Battle Network timeline.
It wouldn't be that far-fetched, I'll be honest. So, this
There
is
you
a
go.
this is about the second act, right about here. So I'm gonna
Okay.
drop the spoiler warning here because I am gonna go through. If you guys want to watch the movie for yourselves, it's only been out a week as of this recording. Hey, go watch it for yourselves. It's good. I would say better than the first. The first movie was good. This one I would say is even better. So go watch it.
Now,
Stop
is it better
listening.
than Willy's Wonderland?
Oh, you're gonna make me choose. This is good as a story told straight. It has more horror elements. It has more impact. It uses its atmosphere and tension really well. People who are already fans will see a lot of fan service. There's a Five Nights at Candy's arcade machine in the opening shot, and I saw that and I was like, "Oh, very cute." So, fun little Easter eggs. People who are inundated in the lore will see this and probably be on pins and needles. The entire setup for the puppet is one of the most tense moments of the film because we already know what my grandfather's clock signifies in FNAF. So, like, it's really, really good. So, that in mind, we're moving into spoiler territory.
It is a non-stop spoiler onslaught going forward. Abandon all pretenses, ye who enter here.
I was going to say, Professor, you say that, but, as a person who really only has ever played, FNAF World, the truly the best way to get into the series, um, am I going to get anything out of this really knowing next to nothing out of this? Or is this just going to be, excuse me, yeah, well, if you're not a fan, you're not, it's going to be so much Greek. It's, so much
No,
gobbledygook.
no. And what I will say to that is if you've seen the first film, you have
Mm.
all the information you need for the second. You are good to go. So if you've seen FNAF 1, go ahead and watch FNAF 2. You're going to be golden. If you already have all that bonus information, you'll get to appreciate the little nods and Easter eggs and references more, but at the same time, the movie's internal logic remains consistent with the firsts. So there's no need for any extracurricular activity for you to enjoy this movie for what it is outside of just watch the first movie first and then the second movie second.
I see.
So,
I see.
so from here, things really go crazy because Abby is assisting Toy Chica, who she thinks is the Chica from the first film, but is actually being puppeted by Charlotte. Vanessa breaks into the restaurant to try to rescue Abby, having realized what's going on. And the marionette's like, lol, nope. And basically holds Abby hostage in order to make Vanessa give her the access code to the perimeter alarm. And Vanessa, not willing to risk Abby's well being, agrees. and allows them to disable the perimeter alarm. And Charlotte's whole thing is like, she's not even that mad at the person who killed her. She's angry with parents who stood by and did nothing while she died. So her goal isn't just revenge on the man who killed her, though it does seem to be implied that were she to find him, she'd kill him too, but that would be a bonus. She wants to kill parents, period. She wants to just start massacring people left and right. So now Abby goes to the science fair, and Toy Chica helps her make a little like Chica robot statue thing. And Wayne Knight's character, Mr. Berg, pretends to fumble it and breaks it. And then it's like, oh well, I'll make it up to you. You'll get full credit for the class, and then you don't have to enter and jeopardize our chance of taking home our 4th consecutive win. And Abby's like, I have a better idea. So she goes and asks Toy Chica to be her entry into the science fair. And at the same time this is happening, this is something I did kind of gloss over. There is a big, basically a con happening in honor of the local attention being brought back to the Freddy Fazbear's Pizzeria due to the events of the first film. Now, because of that, people are having FazFest, a big homage / celebration to the 80s nostalgia that was the Freddy Fazbear's franchise. So Mr. Berg is like, this is stupid. FazFest is a waste of time. It's misdirecting people from the potential that robotics actually has by replacing it with nostalgia and this really misplaced admiration for a place that was essentially a mistake. And Toy Chica shows up, and he's so offended that he goes off and just tells Abby off. And Toy Chica's like, no, I just want to talk to him. And she murders the crap out of him. I'm just like, wow, Wayne Knight. Like, you were just the guy they call in to just get brutally murdered by something. So...
Sheen Bean's just looking off on the side, be like, am I a joke to you?
So, the whole situation really comes to a head when Mike and Vanessa have to team up. There's a lot of tension between them at this point because basically it turns out Vanessa has basically not been telling the whole truth this entire time, and Mike is just like, I thought we put this behind us. I thought we were done masquerading. I thought you had told me everything. Like, you didn't tell me about Charlotte. You didn't tell me about the first location. You didn't tell me that the first location has this super advanced marionette character that served as like the band's conductor. Like, you didn't give me any of this information ahead of time. And now we're reaping the whirlwind because of this. So they are kind of at odds. But then they're like, we have to save Abby. Abby is our highest priority. It doesn't matter. Everything else has to go by the wayside. So Vanessa's like, we can access the trackers in each of the animatronic characters. We just have to get into the security room. So Vanessa takes Mike there, and she's like, I'm going to drive out there and try to just save Abby directly. You go onto the network and tell me what's going on. And he's like, okay, I can do that. So they have these walkie-talkies, these 2003 walkie-talkies that basically serve in lieu of cell phones. And Mike starts like directing her as the trackers become available to him. And Charlotte, the puppet, is like, oh, there's a snitch. Well, you know what they say, what happens to snitches. So she activates the old prototype animatronics, the withered animatronics from FNAF 2, the degraded version of the fuzzy felt characters of the first restaurant, and starts puppeting them towards him. And Mike is like, wait a minute, how do I shut the door in here? And Vanessa's like, oh, there is no door. There never was. And he's like, oh my God, an idiot built this place. So, like,
Kinda, yeah.
Yeah, no, you're not wrong. So Proto Freddy starts like reaching across the desk to have a go at him. And much like FNAF 2, ironically, like Mike chooses to just not engage with them until they are close enough to pop his head like a zit. And he finds the discarded Freddy mask and puts it on, just like in the game. And Freddy goes, "Oh, I appear to already be in here. I'd better leave." And Mike's like, "Oh my god, that actually worked." It's a very nice little continuity nod. That got a good laugh out of me. So he begins having to activate their trackers, find where they all are, and try to like take down the network at the same time. And he's working on like this Windows 98 interface, which is even funnier. Like, okay, this world is seriously messed up. He's basically repelling one after another, and like Bonnie tries to crawl through the vent, so he like slams the vent grate back onto it, and it's kind of like shoulder checks it to knock it back into place. And Chica and Freddy are repelled by the mask. Foxy's like, "Oh no, you're not pulling that crap on me," and just tries to like stab his eye out. And in a moment of primitive catharsis I didn't know possible, Balloon Boy comes in and starts harassing him just because. And Mike gets so fed up with him, he grabs Balloon Boy by the head, twists his head off, and just tears it off and chucks it down the hallway. And I'm like, you know what? That felt good. Secondhand catharsis right there. That little turd deserves that treatment. And I would not be against it if Scott retroactively added that as a mechanic into FNAF 2. I'm just saying, little Balloon Boy decapitation might teach that little crap just who's boss. So Mike eventually shuts down the network, pretty much just in the nick of time to save his own bacon. And then one specific tracker shows up on the map, which is Charlotte's. And he's like, Vanessa, she's in my house right now. She is in my house. So everyone is basically scrambling to try to get there in time. And the marionette has like collapsed itself down and hidden itself inside the body of Toy Chica. So Toy Chica walks into Abby's room, returning her to her bed, and busts out of her like chest burster style. And she's just like, "Swiggity swooty, coming for the booty," and tries to possess Abby. And the implication appears to be that, the body is still going to age, whether it's possessed or not. And, well, wouldn't you know, starting young will just give her a longer time to hitch a ride on a host and commit her war crimes against the adult population. So the final confrontation happens in Mike's house, with Vanessa and Mike and Abby scrambling around trying to deal with the fact that the toy animatronics are trying to break in and murder them all. Before Mike gets to his house, he swings by the old restaurant and basically starts shouting at the heavens. He's like, "I don't even know if you're here. I don't even know if you can hear me. But if you care at all about Abby's well-being, then do something. Make something of yourselves. If you truly aren't just these monsters, then do the right thing." And they basically, there's nothing. He is met with deafening silence. And he's like, "Okay, I have to do this myself." Which doesn't go well when you're fighting these weirdly strong robot mascots. And he kind of gets bodied a few times. And they're basically crowded in the living room. And one of the coolest / silliest things in this entire film happens. And it's really both at the same time. And like Vanessa, Mike, and Abby are cornered. Mike uses a music box that he was given by Henry. Yes, Henry Emily. This is indeed the man himself does appear in this film, and gives him the music box, which drives the puppet away. So they're like, "Okay, we did it." And it's like, "Oh no, this gets more complicated," because you remember there was another security guard named Michael, and he strolls in, and it's like, "Oh yeah, I'm in control," because like why would my dad build these robots and not have a backup plan? Like, seriously, how stupid do you think we are? And he's like, "Vanessa, why are you fighting against our dad's design? Like, he clearly had the right idea. Obviously, giant murder robots are the wave of the future. And Vanessa has this moment where she's like, I'm like, you are not my family. I have my family, and they're here, and you're threatening them. And as they're about to be torn to shreds, the original animatronics come in and start tearing the toy animatronics to shreds. Like, Foxy hooks Toy Bonnie by the throat and just gouges him to death. Like, Freddy rips Toy Freddy in half. Like, it is silly, it is overblown, and yeah, it's pretty damn cool to see. It's hard to put into word. There is a lot of catharsis in seeing that happen. And as they do this, the animatronics start to shut down. And Abby's like, well, what's wrong? Why is this happening? And Vanessa's like, all Fazbear locations have a perimeter alarm. Then theirs is no exception. They left the premises, so their batteries are rapidly bleeding out. And the spirit who possessed Freddy appears before them, and he's like, this is it. This is the last thing we're going to be able to do because we can't use these bodies anymore. We have to go on. We are at our limit. And he tells Mike he will not be restrained anymore, and he will come for you stronger than he was before. And Mike, obviously is an idiot, so he's like, who do you mean? And I'm like, dude, he can literally only be talking about one person. You know this already. So the ghosts are finally liberated. The spirits of the children are finally released. They are saved. The toys are destroyed, and Mike is going to have one hell of a time trying to explain what happened to his house to an insurance adjuster. So,
would you believe that there's just a bunch of robots that just decided to run in and they just busted down the place? Where are they now? They left.
No, they're actually just kind of lying around in his living room. The spirits moved on, but the robots are still there.
They went to heaven.
The souls went to heaven.
404.
The robots are literally strewn across his living room. Like, it's going to be quite a tale for him to tell, let me tell you. So, in the end of the film, Vanessa tries to talk to Mike. And I'm going to disappoint a lot of people because a lot of people were shipping Mike x Vanessa at the end of the first film. This movie throws a lot of cold water on that in this ending. And Mike is like, you're a threat to my family. You're just not willing to tell us what's happened or be honest with yourself or us, so I can't trust you at all. Just go away, get out of my life. And as they're leaving, because Mike and Abby leave with a friend of Mike's, and Vanessa suddenly gets possessed by the puppet, who was in fact not destroyed. It was just driven off. So, she gets possessed. The movie comes to an end, but there are two additional scenes. One in the middle of the credits, one at the very end. The first scene is... trying to remember which scene that one was. This one was the setup, the obvious obligatory sequel baiting. These three guys are spelunking around the original restaurant. And by original is really subjective in this case. The first restaurant of the first film, not the first original location, the one that the first movie happens in. And they find the secret room in the back. And they discover the yellow Bonnie costume laying there on the floor. And they're like, we're going to steal everything we can before they bulldoze this building. And we're going to set up a horror attraction based on what's happened, both in the events of the second film and the first. And of course, they throw the tarp over it, and the camera pans around, and you see Springtrap's eyes light up white. So, da-da-dun. And arguably more interesting, at the very end of the credits, there is a recorded audio message that overplays the last leg of the credits. Now, the thing that's interesting is the very first sentence of the movie tells you to watch the show till the very end for a surprise. And that's where our boy Henry leaves an audio confession saying that he is indeed Henry Emily, Charlotte was his daughter, and that he was the co-founder of the Fazbear Entertainment franchises, and that he Henry is really quotable because he uses a lot of very biblical imagery in his messages. I'm not sure if it was the original voice actor from Pizzeria Simulator, but it sure sounds like him. So props if either way. And he says, sometimes you don't realize you're working with the devil even when he's sitting right by your side. And I'm just like, that's a good line. I like that. And
Meanwhile, Snek's like, gonna write that one down.
gonna steal that one in the future. And he's like,
hey, it's not theft. It's homage.
Homage. For homage, yes. So he basically is like, if I don't get the chance to give you this message, I hope that you find it. And he's like, Charlotte is active. She is still alive. She is dangerous, and she is coming for me. And he's like, you have to start running now because it's already too late, and she's coming for you too. Bam. End of credits. This movie is a ton of fun. If you are a FNAF fan, you're going to have a blast. Even if you're not, if you've seen the first film, you're already up to speed. You know what you need to know in order to dive into this film and have a lot of fun. Is it campy? Yes. Is it cheesy? Yes. Is it everything FNAF ought to be? Yes, absolutely. I would say that I liked the first film, to be clear, but I think this one is better. Like, they just did a great job. They have thrown so many bricks in the air. They have made references. There's like a scene where one of the characters sees plush dolls based on the nightmare animatronics from FNAF 4. There is a call out to Circus Baby. There is, like, the audio messages are clearly send-ups to Pizzeria Simulator. So they're obviously setting up for FNAF 3. I mean, FNAF 3 is going to be an adaptation of FNAF 3. What are the odds? So this was incredible. And, like, I have seen so many people, like, poo-pooing this movie. I don't get why. Like, maybe they weren't FNAF fans. Maybe they already hated it going in and just decided they didn't like it before they watched it. I don't understand it. I had a ton of fun. I think you guys will too. So, Master Ditaku, thank you for letting me vent for an hour about how much fun I had watching this movie.
My pleasure.
And thank you guys. Nope, go ahead.
I was just going to say thank you for, humoring my digressions. I know I kind of veered off into very strange territory.
Nah, I mean, it's fine. If people aren't used to that by now, they haven't been around the channel very long. But thank you for everyone who has been watching at home, especially if you watch all the way to the end as you were instructed. Do that like, comment, subscribe thing that we love so very, very much. This was so much fun. I am looking forward to FNAF 3 when that comes out in a couple of years, I assume. So look forward to more Snekflix because, like I said, we got Sonic, we got Mario, we got Mortal Kombat. We got a lot of new game adaptations coming up, and I think they're going to be a lot of fun. So thank you once again, and we'll see you guys next time.